here on the occasion of Stewart Hastie's 90th birthday party. Louise, where exactly are we?
We are at Addington Manor Equestrian Centre, which is probably the biggest and best in the country, for the occasion of the British Driving Society Championships.
And so Jane was able to arrange for us to have this beautiful meal and be watching the championships.
Yeah, which I must say I've never been to before. But there were some wonderful turnouts, and it was very entertaining. The racing was very good around the obstacles, and it was a very enjoyable evening. And of course, it hasn't been very often until recently that the three Hastie children have got together with Daddy and Jane, because we usually spread out all around the world. But now Charlie's home. It's lovely to get together. And of course with you, John, being here as well, brings the past and the present together, really.
So Louise, tell me about some of your dad is such a character. Tell me about some of your, or one or more of your favourite father recollections.
It's not so much a moment, but when you asked me this, I thought, gosh, I can't borrow an awful lot of memorable occasions, but the thing I probably remember Daddy most for, or the occasion that repeated itself, was Christmas Day. And a typical Christmas day at home with four very, very excitable children up at 3 o'clock, as with any other family. But from that moment on, everything was not as a normal family would be. Mummy Joanna was very, very strict with the housework should be done before the opening of the presents, and we'd all sit down at 11 o'clock on the stairs in the hall with our writing pads to record who the presents came from, and then the phone would ring. And somebody would have, every single Christmas almost without fail, somebody would have taken their dog for a walk and it would have jumped over a wire fence, and all present opening had to be halted until the dog was mended. Then we would have a very rapid opening of presents. Daddy always used to get the most because he had hundreds of bottles from people, and then we would have lunch. But then it was even worse because we all had to write our letters to thank everybody for our Christmas presents before we watched the circus. I think that's probably the reason none of us write letters anymore, because letter writing was in fact a terrible chore on Christmas Day. But hey ho, he's always been a stickler for routine, and I don't think it served us terribly badly, really.
Oh, that's fantastic, Louise. Thank you very much for doing that.
This is fantastic. Oh yeah, absolutely, perfect. But I've always driven past those two pillars at Burton Junction. I never realised they're before them all. I'm having pâté, yes. What's John having?
Special gentleman. It's his 90th birthday today, and he's up in the posh boxes, the posh seats, having his dinner. But we'd like to welcome Stewart Hastie, who is the equine veterinary surgeon, qualified actually at Glasgow Veterinary College in 1944, and has been practicing equine vet ever since. And of course his wife as well is also a vet, and a vet for the BDS show here today. But his unique inquiring mind into structure and function of a sport horse has made him the first vet to actually perform into chiropractic. He's the first vet to perform RDA, and he's also the Honourable Fellow of the Society of Master Saddlers, as well as the BHS Order of Merit for Welfare, and he has just published the second edition of the BHS Veterinary Manual. And tonight, of course, as I said, he's here with his wife Jane, as well as a lot of friends and family, and especially one very special guest from Australia. So Stewart, many, many happy returns, and I hope you have many, many more.
time, Stuart. That's fine.
Yeah, we drop.
We have an hilarious time here. No one knows the rules. One's trying to tell us the rules. Then I said, do you know the rules? No, he doesn't know the rules. This is hilarious. So we don't bother to have rules then.
Is that the iPhone? What's that thing? Samsung Galaxy.
It's got nothing to do with an iPhone, that.
Well, coming back into line, T. Cribb and Sons, Earl and Major. Now Smith Brothers, Paul Ridge, John Boy. The Chester Hackney, London delivery box van. Dated the turn of the century, actually bought by his father from Brighton. Bought the horse, the vehicle and the harness for £35. Pony, put the saddle on, and then the jockey jumps around the course. We got it a bit wrong last year, but they just actually jump the course. They don't actually go through the bollards on the horse. So, because we started it off wrong, we had to continue last year, but we're going to get it right this year. So this is going to be pretty exciting because, honestly, Gary, they haven't got a clue what they're doing.
No, but we do. We know it so well. We've often been jumping bollards, haven't we? It's really interesting. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think our teams are getting there slowly. We're making up the rules as we go along. We've got a tournament for us, right? So we will have it. Are we changing the rules for it? We're establishing the rules.
Oh, Brian Brazier there, and it's Castle Joe. Nottingham Codger, Birmingham Defiance, and London Trolley. also, ladies and gentlemen, to actually honour a very special gentleman. It's his 90th birthday today, and he's up in the posh boxes, the posh seats, having his dinner. But we'd like to welcome Stewart Hastie, who is the equine veterinary surgeon, qualified actually at Glasgow Veterinary College in 1944, and has been practising equine vet ever since. And of course his wife as well is also a vet, and a vet for the BDS show here today. But his unique inquiring mind into structure and function of a sport horse has made him the first vet to actually perform into chiropractic. He's the first vet to perform RDA, and he's also the Honourable Fellow of the Society of Master Saddlers, as well as the BHS Order of Merit for Welfare, and he has just published the second edition of the BHS Veterinary Manual. And tonight, of course, as I said, he's here with his wife Jane, as well as a lot of friends and family, and especially one very special guest from Australia. So Stewart, many, many happy returns, and I hope you have many, many more. Thank you. And coaches card driving and runs club events including staging the National Horse Driving Trials in the past for years. Fabulous music, so come on, let's get behind them. Sing along as well if you want to. Come on, cheer on, come on, Little group's really working to get around that obstacle. Almost starting the vehicle out of the way of the gates. Doing very well, going to the last obstacle now. Feeling it in it. Wow! Look at that! Wow! Fantastic!
I let it fall, my heart, and as it fell, you rose to claim it. It was dark, and I was over, until you kissed my lips, and you saved me. My hands, they were strong, but my knees were far too weak. With your name.
We've had a good night, very good night, at the 90th birthday party of Stewart Hastie, and I have with me now, well, originally I knew him as Peter Hastie, but now I know him as Charlie.
Here's my first name.
So can you tell us about something that is a special recollection of your father?
Well, there's many memories, of course. Many good, a few bad. I think the thing I enjoy most about Dad's company is the fact that he's always got an anecdotal story about just about anything, usually of a naughty nature, often of a naughty nature, but he's always got a good story to tell. But in a more personal sort of note, one of the best of times I think I had with Dad was when I was setting sail on Operation Rally, fresh out of school, 18 years old, never been to sea, and he came up to Hull, of all the most salubrious places, to see me off, make sure I got on the boat, I think, probably more likely. But it was great to see him up there. And I was sitting next to Prince Charles. We were so tired because we'd spent 2 weeks getting the ship ready to sail. Quite frankly, it wasn't ready to sail, but Dad came out and saw us off, and there was me sitting next to Prince Charles, and I had no idea who it was, and he was most exasperated about this fact. But it was good to see him, and it was great, waving me off. I think he was actually saying, it's probably going good riddance, but it was great. And then the other time was when I had a very bad car accident, and he, in the middle of the night, got a very urgent call from the police saying your son's in Stoke Mandeville Hospital after a very bad car accident, and had to race over to see if I was in a very bad way or just a bad way. But no, so I put him through some bad times on things like that, misbehaving. But no, his stories have always been the thing that gets me. I wish there was a way of recording them. He'd make a fortune.
Very good. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Charlie, on camera.
Thank you.
Another of my recollections of Stewart, and probably a tribute to the fact that he was a very talented, or is a very talented presenter. I was on the World Veterinary Congress organising committee, and I decided that I should run a seminar on the back. And this was at a time when I was working for Muresk Agricultural College, which was the rural campus of Curtin University. And I had been to see Stewart in Buckingham, and I knew about his knowledge of backs and the fact that he was probably arguably one of the top people in the world on the topic. So I got very enthusiastic about this, and on the day we had a good muster. There's probably 150, 250 people there, and the principal of the college at that time was Clyde Smith. Clyde was a lovely bloke but had no interest in horses at all, and yet he sat through the first, I think he introduced Stewart and opened the conference, and then he sat through the first 15 minutes of Stewart's various lectures he was giving on different aspects of the horse's back. And then I saw Clyde Smith still sitting there about 3 hours later before we went to lunch. So at lunchtime I said to Clyde, very unusual that I should see you, Clyde, at a series of horse lectures, and he said that Stewart was just such a good presenter and produced such a clear picture of what he was trying to get across that he was absolutely fascinated. So I thought that was a real tribute to Stewart Hastie's ability to present on a topic. Very good.